The odd-even rule will be implemented in the national capital for the third year in a row between 4th and 15th November if pollution levels rise like they often do during the winter months. The announcement was made by Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal along with an action plan before the winters and the regular pollution sets in. The odd-even rule, one where cars with number plates ending in an even number can ply only on even dates and vice versa for odd numbers, has raised controversy every year, and this year has been no different, with Union Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari saying moments after Delhi Chief Minister Kejriwal's announcement that the odd-even rule was not even needed. Listen in.
इसके लिए मैंने जनता से सुझाव मांगे थे। इन सारे सुझावों के आधार पे और ये चर्चा के आधार पे हम लोगों ने 7 पॉइंट एक्शन प्लान बनाया है, जिसको हम लोग पराली प्रदूषण एक्शन प्लान बोल रहे हैं। 4 नवंबर से 15 नवंबर के बीच में दिल्ली में ऑड इवन लागू किया जाएगा।
नहीं, अभी तो जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि हमने जो नया रिंग रोड बनाया उससे दिल्ली का प्रदूषण काफ़ी कम हुआ है और मेरे अंदाज से हम 2 साल के अंदर जितने 50,000 करोड़ के रोड मेरे विभाग से बन रहे हैं, यमुना जल शुद्धिकरण और वायु शुद्धिकरण दोनों की योजनाएं चल रही है। 2 साल में दिल्ली को प्रदूषण से मुक्ति मिलेगी।
So, in the midst of this face-off, another interesting aspect has come to light. Chief Minister Kejriwal has claimed that pollution levels in Delhi have dropped by 25% over the last 4 years, a claim that some data seems to corroborate as well. So the bigger question is, what has helped Delhi reduce its infamous pollution levels by a bit, and has the odd-even rule played any role at all? Is it really required? To speak more on this, I am joined today by Pratyush Kant from the BJP, Jasmine Shah from the Aam Aadmi Party, and Vivek Chattopadhyay, Program Manager at Centre for Science and Environment, who looks most closely at air pollution. Welcome to all of you. Pratyush Kant, let me begin by asking why the Union Minister is against the odd-even rule. Do you think it has contributed nothing to this drop in air pollution in Delhi?
It has contributed nothing, because your heart has to be at the right place if you really want to do something. For 14-15, with amidst so much of drama and halla gulla, Kejriwal launched this. It's something which is for self-promotion for him. Look what the Modi government has done. We have made 135 kilometers of eastern periphery. Noida, Ghaziabad, Faridabad, all taken care of. Another 135 of western peripheral road, Gurugram, Bahadurgarh, Kondli, all that area. So our heart was at the right place. We ensured that 60,000 odd heavy vehicle polluting trucks don't enter the city. They take the bypass and go away. We were absolutely sure that stage 1 of Meerut Express ready, taking away a lot of cars away from the city roads.
Yeah.
By another 4 months, stage 2 will be done. So we had concrete plans, ma'am, in place.
Okay.
And
so basically you're saying that the credit goes to the central government.
No, just ma'am. Ma'am, it is just the beginning. I just wanted a couple of more minutes of your and bit of patience from you. That's
okay.
it.
1 minute more. 1 minute
so,
more.
ma'am,
Yes.
then what happens? Lakhs of trucks which are coming to Delhi are paying pollution cess to Delhi government. Not 1 rupee has been used by this man. We closed down the Badarpur terminal plant. No, we said it's polluting, let's bring something new. So this government, e-vehicles are being promoted. We are doing step by step, slowly ensuring that Delhi, the air becomes clean here. What does the Kejriwal government do? Nothing, man, nothing. Not 1 rupee from the cess collected by the government has been used. You give him any place, any platform where he can self-promote himself, he will jump to it. Election few months away, if odd even was so good, why did he discontinue in between? Because his heart is not there. Okay. That is what your viewers have to understand.
Okay.
For him, it's a stunt, an election gimmick.
I never assume that my viewers need to be told what to think. Just to set it straight. What I do is I give them every point of view and then let them come to their own conclusion.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I will keep that in mind.
You made your point, Pratyush. You say largely the thing is that the central government is largely responsible for this. Odd even is just a gimmick. And some of the reasons that have been cited for pollution dropping indeed is the diversion of traffic to the outer roads. So that has helped. Maybe the graded action plan which the centre did bring in has helped as well. But Jasmine, do you think, Jasmine Shah, that the odd even has actually contributed to this? That the Delhi government, the Kejriwal government should be credited with a drop in pollution, because the odd even has been questioned time and again, including by the NGT.
Okay, so I think these are very, very important questions. So I hope you'll give me time to just address, because pollution is a complex problem.
Yeah.
First, let's address the question of odd even, and does odd even have any kind of an impact? Now, when the first time odd even policy was introduced in Jan 2016, there was a very detailed scientific study that was done by researchers from University of Chicago and Harvard. I hope any of the panelists here would not question whether these are partisan or non-partisan people. These are some most renowned researchers globally. They have shared data, and it's out there in the public domain, that in winter months, especially in the winter months when there is temperature inversion and vehicles are the largest contributor to particulate pollution in Delhi, odd even policy of the Kejriwal government reduced pollution by 14 to 16%. The data is out there. Let's at least choose to acknowledge that data. Okay, that's point number one. What is this 25%? This 25% is not the short term drops of air pollution. We are talking about a trend of data over 6 years as compared to the baseline of 2012 to 14, and I am glad there is a panelist on, from CSE on this debate. And when you compare 2012 to 14 data with 16 to 18, right? So the last 3 years, which is of course what sort of overlaps with the term of the AAP government, you very clearly see a drop of 25%.
No, but
now,
my question is it because of odd even?
What has happened and why has that reduction taken place?
Yeah.
Many factors have taken place. I'm not saying it is because of odd even. Odd even is a temporary measure. It helps to deal with peaks of pollution. And why is it that it is being introduced in November? That is an absolutely valid question. It is being introduced because this is the period that overlaps with the Parali season. This is the time we all know, not just Delhi, the entire of North India turns into a toxic gas chamber.
Yeah.
And we would love to therefore know what is it that the states of Haryana or Punjab are doing to actually address this particular problem. I am not saying a BJP Congress, and I think let's not boil this down to a partisan debate or question intentions. As Delhi government, we had listed out 7 steps that were taken by some by Delhi government, some by centre. Of course, BJP likes to believe everything good in the world they are doing, and if that is so, why is it that Gurugram and Faridabad and Noida are the most polluted cities in the world today? Data is out all there, and why is it that everything good that happens only in Delhi, and that is also because of no contribution of the Kejriwal government?
All right. Let me come in here. Jasmine, you say that this is not a political issue, it should be a bipartisan issue. In that case, are you willing to give the central government credit for the steps they have taken, including the making of highways which have diverted traffic and the graded action plan?
There is absolutely no question. The Chief Minister Kejriwal himself credited that around 7 or 8 large measures that were taken in Delhi and which have today made Delhi a model city in terms of measures that large cities can take to reduce pollution. And we have acknowledged that as far as the expressways, the peripheral expressways are concerned, they have played an important role to divert vehicular traffic. At the same time, what are the measures that the Delhi government has taken? And I think we should sort of all at least be aware of the right facts. Delhi today has a list of the cleanest fuels that any establishment or industry can use. Coal is banned in Delhi, coke, furnace oil, all of these fuels are banned in Delhi. Almost all industries of Delhi have migrated to using natural gas. Nowhere in the country this is the scenario. We have given large subsidies to industries to actually migrate to clean fuel.
No,
we have also introduced or rather improved the infrastructure for 24/7 electricity.
I appreciate that credit is being given. Credit is being given
absolutely.
To all.
There's no two ways
let
about
me come to Vivek Chattopadhyay, because at the end of the day, I know elections are due and parties will try to make this about themselves, but it is about the people of Delhi. Vivek, 2 things. First of all, the claim that there has been a 25% drop in pollution. Do you think there is any reality to that? And what is the contribution of a scheme like odd even? Because let's start with odd even. Odd even comes in for flack every year Is it really helping?
See, the air pollution level definitely is showing a declining trend in Delhi if you look at the long term data, and the percentage would vary depending upon how you select the stations, because number of stations are also increasing in the city, but there is a decline. It is a definite trend, and what we are also seeing that severe pollution days are also reducing during the winter period because of the implementation of the GRAP, a Graded Response Action Plan. And under the Graded Response Action Plan, it is already established that odd and even is imposed when the air pollution level crosses severe to severe plus level. And globally also odd and even is an accepted like administrative measure to reduce vehicular traffic. And there are other measures like you restrict polluting cars, older cars, you restrict certain areas for vehicular movement altogether, like pedestrianize the area. These are the different means, like Paris last year did free public transport on certain days when the pollution level was very high. They banned the diesel cars also. So that way, odd and even, if it is done for a few days infrequently, helps to cut down the pollution level. But if you do it regularly, then people find ways to dodge the system in that way. And the good thing is, during the odd and even period, people tend to carpool, ride sharing, as well as use public transport. So it gives a message to the people that their contribution would also matter, because in Delhi what we are seeing, that the private vehicle segment has the least kind of actions been made. Trucks are paying fine, pollution tax, older trucks have been banned, and there are several measures have been taken in all the other sectors. But this vehicle sector requires tough measures right now, because the vehicle numbers are exploding in the city. Like it's the maximum number of vehicles are flying. So I think some measure, a long-term solution is good public transport.
No, and the metro has really,
but at the same time, short-term measures also.
I like the way this conversation is going, because after all three of you all are responsible citizens of Delhi, or people in public life. And if something good is happening with everyone working together, it's a model that other cities can use and look at. Pratyush, do you come in on that sentiment of bipartisan approach to a situation like pollution? Do you think you can resist not making it a political issue?
I'm so sorry to disappoint you, ma'am. Here, his heart is not in what he's doing. Now, sir, expert from CSE was just talking about Paris. There, you had last experiment was, I think, was in 2015. That time they made the public transport totally free. Now here, nobody is talking a word about that you have only 3,000 odd buses in Delhi. You need 20,000 buses in Delhi so that people can stop taking their cars and take public transport. Because Arvind Kejriwal, what he inherited from Sheila Dikshit's government, the whole public transport system has crumbled. Nobody is speaking a word about it. I would have been the first man to stand on top of anywhere and say, oh, he's doing a great job. But no, ma'am, I cannot say this, because what he is doing is not planned. If it was planned, look at China, for example. They have said 20,000 number plates every month will be done. They experimented with it. They came. This man has done nothing. Mexico tried, failed. There are so many examples all over the world. What has Mr. Kejriwal done? So I would have been the first one to say, hats off, Mr. Kejriwal, you are trying to do something. But here, you are only causing inconvenience to people who live in the city. And that is what hurts me to no end, ma'am.
Okay, so out of the 7 measures that have been announced today, Pratyush, let me come back to you. Out of the 7 measures which have been announced today, you're clearly not happy with odd even. But what about the others? What about the fact that heavy fines on, burning leaves has caused a reduction in pollution, that construction bans for those few days has caused a reduction in pollution, the laser fireworks plans for the Diwali period, etc. You think none of them have any merit?
No, ma'am, they have. The things which are good are good. I mean, you cannot burn leaves. I am totally with Mr. Kejriwal on that. But the question is, ma'am, who will implement it? You have to look at Mr. Kejriwal for last 55 months. He only goes just to try to build his own setup. His heart doesn't lie in what he's doing. The Modi government for 4 years did silently. Look, the amount of roads we have built here. The Meerut Expressway, peripheral roads, even my co-panelist from AAP accepted the fact, and I'm very grateful to him for that. Ma'am, all of us want a clean Delhi for our next generation.
Yeah.
For Diwali ban, Supreme Court has got solid laws laid out. Solid laws laid out for Diwali. And not coming from High Court, but from the apex court of India. So ma'am, we have just to follow those laws. But here, it causes tremendous amount of pain to people when you do something like odd and even without planning it.
So the
you have
problem
done
is
it
with
twice.
odd people.
You made huge ads, hoardings.
Problem is with odd even. Jasmine, you should respond. Quick response from Jasmine Shah of the Aam Aadmi Party. Yes.
So I'm a little confused, you know, what the BJP spokesperson's concern is, because we would like to address all stakeholders of the city, and they are also an important one. Is it about the fact that when odd even happens, there is a large scale campaign to solicit people's participation? He's repeatedly mentioned about the fact that advertisements go out. Or is he really does not believe in the data that is put out, which the panelists from CSE corroborated, that odd even is one of the most effective emergency short-term measures. Data is out there. Does he not acknowledge the data? Does he doubt the validity of the data? Because I think let's put this debate first to rest, because we can talk then about the long-term plans, because that is where the heart of this government is, and a lot of measures which have already shown this 25% reduction will further go down. And Mr. Kejriwal today again in his press briefing has said that we will not rest until the pollution levels in Delhi go to normal and go to good days. And many other things are being rolled out, you know, strengthening public transport, electric vehicles are going to be inducted in a large manner, 1,000 electric buses are being brought into Delhi. So there is no shortage of various things that we are trying to do.
25 buses have come in 5 years. 25 buses.
Okay,
the
odd even
public
is the
transport
problem.
has collapsed. What is my respected panelist talking?
Okay, 1 minute.
The system has
No,
failed
let's
here.
figure out
We
odd even
don't
first.
have
Let's
a
just
public
close the debate on
transport
odd
system
even.
Okay,
here.
I'll come back
Let's
to
first talk
1
about
minute.
that.
Let's first talk about odd even.
What odd
because
even?
that is
You
the
cannot
problem.
have odd
Pratyush,
even
1
without
minute.
having public transport system.
Pratyush,
You
1
need to
minute.
have public transport
Pratyush,
system.
1 minute. Pratyush, 1
You
minute.
cannot have a life without public
Pratyush
transport
Khan, 1
system.
minute. Hang on. I want to introduce Vardhaman Kaushik to the conversation. Vardhaman, of course, is one of the initial litigators. His PIL has, in a sense, started the whole process of the apex court's involvement in how the Delhi government and the people of Delhi tackle pollution. And Vardhaman, today I want your point of view. It will be very interesting to know what you think of, first of all, the 7-point action plan announced by the Chief Minister today, the claim that pollution has dropped 25% over the last 4 years, and most importantly, does odd even work or not? Does odd even have a role in what we are seeing today with a drop in pollution levels?
Well, one thing we must acknowledge, the emergency short-term measure, so-called, was started in 2016. Now, 3 years down the line, an emergency short-term measure per se, according to the NGT order, means when the PM 2.5 level goes above 500, PM 2.5 level goes above 300 and PM 10 level goes above 500. Now, how can Aam Aadmi Party or say any political party, I'm not going into politics right now, foresee that November 4th to November 15th there is going to be a need for emergency measure introduction? And if we are still on the emergency and short-term measures 3 years down the line, when various Supreme Court orders and the NGT orders and the Delhi High Court orders have been passed, what are we missing? We can't just go into, okay, and also let's analyze the data. There are 1.09 lakh vehicles in Delhi and City Delhi. Out of that, 70 lakh are two-wheelers. We are left with 40 lakhs. Out of 40 lakhs, the private cabs will not be banned. The CNG will not be banned. We're talking about 70 to 80% vehicles still being on the road. I don't know what data they bring to the table which says 25% pollution is reduced, of course, but the inconvenience caused can't be forsaken as well. So my opinion is, it is an emergency and short-term measure, and yes, it is effective. But my opinion is that we can't be using emergency and short-term measures 3 years down the line, 4 years down the line, 10 years down the line. If measures had to be taken, they had to be taken 3 years ago. Yes, I could understand 2016 that it was an emergency measure. there were cases accordingly, but I don't see this working. I don't see how somebody 1.5 months before, like, why don't you just regulate firecrackers if that is the issue that needs to be addressed?
Vardhaman, if
Why
I'm not
does
mistaken,
the crop burning not be
Vardhaman,
addressed?
if I'm
Because
not
those are the
mistaken,
two factors that.
if I'm not mistaken, odd even will be implemented if pollution levels go above a certain level. It's a conditional sort of announcement.
Yeah, let me answer that.
Yeah, if that be the case, my opinion. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Vardhaman.
Yeah. My opinion is, if that is the case, why are we still looking at emergency short-term measures? Why are we not inculcating long-term measures which will be a viable option, and we don't need emergency and short-term options? And in my opinion, I stated the data, like 1.10 crores are the vehicles in Delhi. Out of that, 70 lakhs are two-wheelers, and then of course the private cabs, and then the CNG, everybody's exempt. And still, even if we're left with 40 lakh vehicles which are private, out of that 20 lakh vehicles will still be plying. So in my opinion, 80-85% of vehicles are still plying. I don't see this working. I mean, it might be a feasible option.
Okay.
We're
back to odd even. We're back to the core of the debate, which is, does odd even work? Does odd even work? Vardhaman is not too convinced that pollution levels have dropped, though even the BJP spokesperson Pratyush here says yes, pollution levels have dropped. Yeah, Jasmine, please respond. You have to respond to what Pratyush has said on odd even as well as Vardhaman.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I think it was a very important. Absolutely, and I think it was a very important question raised by Vardhaman as to why do we need emergency measures. When Honorable Chief Minister Kejriwal, he announced odd even policy today, there was a very specific reason. You know, early November and end of October is the period when crop stubble burning is at its peak. And it is not just a question about Delhi, the entire northern Indian region, the entire air chamber becomes very toxic, full of gas. And to deal with a problem that is essentially outside the bounds of Delhi, all that the government can do on those periods is to take these emergency measures. We are 100% with Mr. Vardhaman Kaushik that long-term solutions need to be taken. These solutions are in motion. That is the reason why today in Delhi we are able to say that pollution has come down the curve. You know, it's almost become an assumption that pollution grows every year. But in Delhi, we are fortunately saying that it's actually started reducing. We have not reached to that point of saying that for Gurgaon, Faridabad, or for any other NCR city. So there's something that is happening in Delhi which I just want everybody else to acknowledge. It is not all that needs to happen. Lot more needs to happen.
Yeah.
But when you have those 15 days of peak, and the health effects of those peaks are very, very severe, especially on children and the elderly, all that we can do as a responsible government is to minimize exposure. And since data and evidence tells us that odd even does have an impact in the short term, that's the reason why we have brought it in.
Okay. Odd even may not have an impact on the short term. The debate is still out there, but I just want to talk to Vivek over here about the other measures that need to be taken and how those can really be pushed forward. Things like crop burning. You know, things like crop burning which needs some kind of an input on a national level. Do you think more can be done? Because, you know, we keep focusing on Delhi, but this is a problem across several cities and towns in North India.
Yeah, it's a massive problem, as you said, and entire North India remains under the blanket of smog. You look at Agra, Kanpur, Lucknow, Gaya, Calcutta, across the region has severe air quality during those days. And one of the reasons, like we often say that it is biomass burning or the crop residue burning, but there are local issues also. We need to understand that. For example, there are several coal-based power plants operating, which may be very old, not meeting the norms, new norms. There are industrial clusters where clean fuel needs to be used. There are areas where we need to introduce measures like public transportation in a large way that we are not doing. For example, Delhi and NCR is a closed region, but do you see that we have a good connectivity? All the state governments have failed altogether in this regard. Some measures have been taken by Delhi Metro, but other services, for example, last mile connectivity, bus services, all basic amenities are missing. So I think we need to understand that the unless until infrastructure is seen from a different angle in order to reduce the air pollution, then only we will be able to just building the roads, highways, expressways won't help.
Yeah, okay, Vartaman.
So I think there has to be a strategy to
Yeah,
for
I
reduction in pollution
want to come to you on the
northern
broader
India.
picture. I want to come to you on the broader picture, and this conversation around Delhi, especially this time round, gets more fraught in politics because we're heading into election season. So it becomes about what the AAP government has done and what the central government and BJP has done. But I think it's important to look at the bigger picture beyond the politics as well, because the central government can sit along with the states, many of them have the BJP running it, and find a broader plan, a more comprehensive plan for the entire region. Pollution, after all, doesn't know state boundaries. Do you think that effort has been lacking?
Most certainly, I think that is the crux of it. I think you summarized it in the best way possible. I think I don't belong to a political party. I'm just a human being who lives in Delhi and around Delhi, and all I'm concerned about is the pollution levels coming down. And every year we see news that one state government is calling to the other and they're trying to convene meetings. But still, in the end of the day, the crop burnings hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
We talk about Delhi taking measures, but like at the end of the day, firecracker burnings is still going on. And I'm not just saying Delhi, it's Haryana, Punjab, all the surrounding states and Delhi as well. I don't see it happening. I mean, the order of the NGT Supreme Court is applicable to all the states, irrespective of the measures taken already, but I don't see the implementations happening. The territory, the NCR region, it covers not just the Delhi, the NGT orders were for the NCR region, they go as well as far as Sonipat, they go as far as Alwar, they go as far as Faridabad, but we still see old cars plying, construction activities being undertaken without use of dust suppressants, etc., etc. Like, the buck has to stop somewhere.
No, absolutely. And the Delhi pollution hits the headlines, the international headlines as well, because after all, it is the national capital. But the story goes beyond just Delhi and the people of Delhi. It goes beyond Aam Aadmi Party and BJP. If anyone is doing good work and it's working, well, good. That's good news. Let's all recognize that and just try and make it even better. Thank you to all of you for joining us on debate number 1. And here's hoping for a relatively pollution-free and less pollution Diwali and festive season in Delhi and the entire region over there. We'll take a very short break. But when we come back, we are talking about taxes. Taxes that the Chief Minister and ministers of Uttar Pradesh are apparently too poor to pay. So guess who's footing their bill? It's the people of one of the poorest states in the country, and this loot has been going on for the last 4 decades. It's just come to light. Will it stop? That's the next debate coming right up.